a little bit about my background. I'm a tech lead QA at Deel, 10 years in the industry. I'm part of QA Tech Excellence team, where I oversee quality for 8 teams and 50 plus engineers. And I would like to talk about custom comments in Cursor. We have enterprise subscription there. We've been using this AI IDE for several months already. And besides that, I've been using Windsurf and a Cursor in my side project as well, and other AI tools. Yeah, Windsurf. Whew. All right. So what are custom comments in Cursor? If you haven't worked with them, or you are not just leveraging them frequently enough, those are reusable, version-controlled AI prompts saved in Markdown files that are stored in a certain directory, which is .cursor/comments, right? And on the right-hand side, you can see a screenshot from the official Cursor documentation that is giving you a few ideas how you could use them in your development workflow. So one of the idea could be create a PR, right? So like you just type / in the Cursor chat and then like create PR, and that could do comment for you and open a new PR. Let's say even raise a PR in GitHub if you have GitHub MCP and so on installed in Cursor. It can address GitHub PR comments. I think this is a very good use case for them. Very often you will work so hard on delivering a new feature, or in the QA test automation on delivering new tests pretty much. And you are getting comments there, sometimes maybe a lot of comments. And if you have very clear rules, guidelines, and documentation about your project, you could leverage AI to do some of the work for you. It's just a boost in productivity, a significant one. All right. So how can they be useful, right? So I believe custom comments could be used for standardized quality gates. I think this is a very important point to make. And how I work with them is, this is Playwright workflow, since I'm involved in test automation, the Playwright framework primarily. So we do have, those are example custom comments to do initial self-code review, right? And by the way, you could change those custom comments as well, right, in the chat. So you can do / and just pretty much type code review, then improve PR, and then generate PR description, for example. And as a background, we are a small team. We are reviewing a lot of pull requests. Many of them are below our quality level that we would like to achieve. And we do have an extensive set of guidelines saved in Markdown files. We do have, on top of that, Copilot instructions, since we also have a support for Copilot in the company, and obviously for Cursor rules as well. And this is just one of example where you can type /code review, right? And then if you will get like a red flag, then you need to improve your pull request, right? Okay, you're not following our guidelines. But if you did a good job there, then you are getting like a green light and okay, your pull request is ready for a review, okay? And this is everything before you will actually raise a PR, and I will get notified in Slack, email, and so on, to review the PR. So pretty useful stuff. That brings us to key takeaway number 1. Standards should be implemented, not merely documented, okay? So what I mean here is a lot of companies have an extensive set of documentation that is living in Confluence, maybe Jira, maybe some comments, maybe Slack, Microsoft Teams, and so on, so on. Or, I don't know, just tribal knowledge, right? even without written down all those criteria that people would like other people to follow, okay? And with the custom commands in Cursor, you can pretty much automate your flow, your workflow, right? And then if you will do it in Cursor, you can say you have now not even a workflow, you have AI workflow, right? So it's just another portion of automation that you can do there that is making things more efficient for you, right? And there are more examples of how you could leverage custom commands, right? So on the left-hand side, you can see for developers use cases. So code review, error handling, generating API docs, refactoring certain components, right? And you can put there, obviously, your own, based on your company, your own React patterns or standards that you would like to this AI, this LLM to follow, right? For QA engineers, this could be going back to Playwright, using Playwright CodeGen to record a test, get passing test, but kind of, messy code, and then just use that custom command to refactor this code into production-ready code that you will get, slide back. You will get the green light to process to raise a PR. And you will get a TLDR, all good, right? Like raise a PR. Obviously, you can generate business flow diagram. We can use Mermaid. We can analyze test coverage. This is also very useful use case for custom commands. Custom commands version in Git, reusable for everyone. I think it's like very useful tool. And then I think in Teams and Enterprise subscription in Cursor, there's an option to have team-wide same set, standardized set of rules and workflows that everybody in the company can reuse. So what about Mermaid diagrams? So this could be always up-to-date living documentation, right? So just imagine new joiner joining your team or company, and obviously they need to onboard. They do not have all the context. They are just new, of course, right? And they could use Cursor and either custom command, for example, to reuse the same AI prompt, or just your own sample prompt as well, right? We have also the prompt examples file in Markdown in the repository as well, just to give people ideas of the options or possibilities. This is also boosting adoption at scale for many people at the company. So this is just one very simple example. I did that, to be honest, today, under 5 minutes. It's probably not perfect. You are getting suggestion, description and LLM model suggestion, which LLM should be or is preferred in this scenario. So you have everything, all the context there, and you just pretty much attach the context. Can be one file, can be multiple files. You can change those custom commands, as I mentioned, right? And you are getting, on the right-hand side, you can see the Mermaid preview plugin in VS Code, Cursor, and so on. So it can read the Mermaid diagrams, by the way, right? On top of built-in ability in Cursor to actually do the same. But very useful plugin, by the way. And the results are as follows, right? So this simple, very kind of silly prompt is giving you an excellent result, right? For a new joiner that is just onboarding to the new project, you are getting kind of complex structure there, right? Yeah, in the enterprise area, everything is kind of complex, right? So I need to redact a bit of the output here, but you can see in the red circle here that there is an option to zoom in, zoom out, copy, which would copy the mermaid, not the image, but the actual like code behind it, right, that you can reuse, save to your Confluence, save to your like markdown files and so on. And of course, you can make it full screen and then see it better, right? So that's that, which brings us to key takeaway number 2, that you can visualize complex business flows with a single command, right? That's very simple. You could probably do the same with the prompt, but it's again about following the same workflow, the same step every time, to share the knowledge between different team members, to boost AI usage at the company, right? Because there are many senior technical engineers that are thinking that they are doing excellent job, and they tend to be maybe, not always super enthusiastic about adopting some of the AI tools. But, by the way, custom commands could be used in, as I was also showing, in for other use cases, for context engineering, of course, for the PRD, for product requirements document refinement as well. There are also other tools, by the way, on the market. Like that depends on your company, what kind of AI tools do you use, but this is also a possibility. And for the future, I believe that custom commands could be in the CI pipeline. That's just feels like a natural next step. To use Cursor CLI to just automate that even further, right? To not rely on the Cursor IDE. Of course, it's nice, human in the loop and so on, right? But sometimes it's about being more efficient, and you can run the same thing multiple times in parallel without your intervention. So I think that that would be next step. If Cursor team is listening to us, then hopefully they will prioritize this feature request, because the last comment from 20 days ago was, yeah, nice feature request. We'll prioritize, later, kind of. Yeah, that's all from my side. Thank you very much, guys. If you want to connect, then feel free to scan the QR code, and we can open floor for questions. All right. Where's Pavel? Okay, I will go to you. Okay, I will give you the mic then.
Have you used Playwright MCP in your work? If you did, how do you evaluate against maybe direct Cursor's browser tool that allows agent to interact with the browser?
Yeah, we are using Playwright MCP as well. Sadly, I cannot compare it with the Cursor, because you got access because you're not on the enterprise subscription. This is coming later this year. So sadly, not possibility for enterprise users to try this out yet. But Playwright MCP, very promising, a lot of use cases. Not only to work with actual Playwright framework, although this is also a possibility, but just for kind of like manual testing work, even like if you have the test plan, test cases, and simple enough application, of course, it could go and explore your application, click here and there, following certain scenario, and it will give you some kind of results, right? It won't be perfect, but it is a possibility. I would advise using, if you would like to add new tests, right, in Playwright, for example, I would advise rather use a Playwright CodeGen than the MCP, because it will be just faster and it's easier to refactor the messy code than try to just make the test work, right? Because like you will get a lot of issues pretty much. I'm sure of that, right? It's always like that. it looks like a great code. It can. I did the experiment. Like it is following the rules. Like if you made them, comprehensive enough, it is following the rules. Especially the latest LLM models are very powerful. But yeah, like playwright MCP, I would say definitely in the future, but not today.
About the code review comment. What does it cover? Does it only cover like coding standards, or does it also detect logic errors? And do you also have some kind of solution when the PR is already made and a command running in the repository cloud and basically automating the code review of the other developers?
Lots of questions in one question. Okay. So we could definitely automate that with Cloud Code SDK, for example, right? But this is API pricing based, so which means expensive for the enterprise, which means the adoption is lower because it's expensive to adopt this kind of tool at scale. In Cursor, you have monthly quote of the amount of prompts you can make, and then additional budget for like when you will exceed the limit, there's like additional, again, API pricing based budget for your team, right? And that depends on your company and like how they are paying for this, like how they negotiate the agreement with the Cursor company. But yeah, as I mentioned, right, on the previous slide, once it will be available in Cursor CLI, I think that's, unless they will make it like a premium feature, but if not, then it should be totally possible to put it into the CI, and you will get automatic feedback very, very soon. And going back to the first part of your question, if I still recall, how do you write the code review custom comment, right? That was the question, like what is it really doing? I think it can do whatever you would like it to do, really. With, being reasonable, like there is a limit to that, but like for example, like we do have DB best practices, right? And it's a living document that sits somewhere in the knowledge base, right? But why not use that knowledge to do the actual code review before the PR will be open, right? It's just much more efficient use of everybody's time, since in the enterprise scenario, there are multiple teams very often requested to review the pull request. It can be definitely 5 teams. It's like 8 teams, right, to review, or maybe even more to review, like bigger PR. It's pretty standard. So chasing people for reviews, it's a lengthy process. Yeah, it's exactly. It's like additional layer on top of lint rules. Like for example, in Playwright, we do have custom lint rules, by the way, right? So we try to enforce standards automatically already, but there is a limit to what you can automate, and there is a certain degree of reasoning, like thinking there with the LLM usage that you can take it to the next level.